Hello everyone. In today's video I'll be putting together the Kreg Universal Workbench and the Onefinity Woodworker CNC machine. You really only need 3 tools, a square, a level, and a 3/4 inch wrench. This bench goes together very easily, including the top. Cutting the top and the shelf took maybe an hour, and that was just slowly, casually putting it together. No big deal. The first step here is selecting the height of your table and putting the adjustable feet on. The only issue I had with putting this together, and it was minor, was keeping it square. So best thing you can do is every time you tighten down a couple bolts, have your square there and just make sure it's square when you tighten it down. You want to get both sides together first, and then it's really just a matter of connecting the sides with the last remaining rails, and that's it. Here I do one last check for square before I put the leveling feet on and cut the top. I have a really small shop, as you can see, so I chose the workbench that just fits the CNC. So my top ended up being 45 by 45 inches. When cutting MDF, make sure you wear a mask and use dust control of some sort. This stuff is nasty. You do not want to be breathing this in. To secure the top to the bench, I use 3/4 inch wood screws. If you're unsure what to use, I'll include some links in the description below. First thing you want to do with the Onefinity assembly is set up your Y rails and place the X rail on the Y rail gantry blocks. At this point you want to line up the X and Y rails Then you're going to put a screw in the front outside corner. Pull the gantry blocks forward for the next step. Once you get the X-rail ends lined up with the gantry blocks nice and flush, you're going to lock them down with the provided X-rail mounting screws. Once you get everything tightened down, you're going to push the X-rail all the way to the back position. This will square up your machine. From here you can install the rest of the screws. I unfortunately don't have the room, so I put one in each back corner, pull the X-rail forward, and then install the rest. Now it's time to install the Z-slider. You have to manually turn the spindle to get the collar out of the way. You need to access the mounting holes. I chose the middle height adjustment holes for no other reason than I had no idea what height I wanted, honestly. So I figured the middle would be the best way to go for now. I'll change it later if I need to. Now you have to loosen the collar in order to get your router to slide in. Mine came jammed in the closed position somehow. I just loosened it as far as I could and ended up having to pry it open as I slid the router in. Once you get your Makita router or spindle fully seated, just tighten it up. Now remove this top plate here, and there's two grooves cut in it. One is for your router power and the other for the motor control wire. Once you get those in place, just put it back on and tighten it up. The display mount mounts to the left Y rail. It comes with 4 long screws. You just put a nut on the back of it, tighten it up. As you can see here, my controller is mounted to the front of the workbench. I didn't have room on the left side, so I put a piece of MDF there and just mounted it to the MDF. This resulted in my wires not being long enough to reach the X-rail in the fully back position. So I went to Onefinity and I bought their 2-foot extensions. So what I had to do was rewire everything. I bought these little magnets that help with wire management, and I ended up sticking them to the back of the rails, and you use a zip tie to hold the wires up. I'll provide a link to those below as well. As far as wiring goes, you have an HDMI and 2 USB-Cs for the monitor. One for the power, one for the touch screen operation. There's also motors 0 through 3. They're clearly labeled on the wires, just plug them into the ports they need to go in. The other side of the wire also has labeling. Y1 and 2, 1 goes to the right Y rail, 2 goes to the left Y rail, Z goes to the left top X rail, and X goes to the bottom left X rail. That's pretty much it. Once everything's powered up, make sure your emergency stop button is pulled out and hit the home button. Success. Now that we're done putting it together, I just have to install a waste board and tram the unit, and that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you on the next one.